So hello team, good to see you. So second session of the day, it's data types, and we'll touch also on control flow. So in case you missed the first session, feel free to access the recording after this so that you're not left behind. So just as I mentioned, my voice is not that good, slightly under the weather. So my co-host, Stanley Wells, who's been with me since the last cohort, and feel free to take us through, but I'll just be listening in. So welcome, Stanley. Take us through.
All right. Thank you. So once again, my name is Stanley Wells, and I will be assisting in guiding you guys throughout this mobile development journey. All right. So I really hope you guys are excited to be here and are really anticipating to know what we have for you in this second session. Okay, so hope all your machines are ready, and I hope no one now has a problem with the installation with that. Everyone is now set so that we can kickstart and have this running. Let me share my screen. Okay, I believe it's if it's visible, just you can react to the thumbs up. Okay, thank you.
You can just give it a full screen.
All right. A second. Okay. I believe it's okay now. All right, so let's start. Now, now we want to dwell in the data types. Okay, we want to master data types in that programming. So just quickly, or rather, okay, we have already a definition there, but just from your own analogy and understanding, now that you had already been taken through the foundational modules, and this is one of the core concepts that are mandatory for a developer to know, because in all the programming languages that we use, this is one fundamental that has to be mastered. So just quickly, maybe in the chat, okay, or you can just also unmute. What do you think data types are? Yeah, just from your basic understanding, leave alone the definition that has been provided there. If maybe you are trying to explain what a data type is to maybe your grandma or your grandpa at home, how would you describe what data types are?
Am I audible?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. I'm Jonathan from Ethiopia. So, in my opinion, data types are like, first of all, like I want to define like variables. In my opinion, like they are a kind of bucket. So, and from that, when we come to data types will. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, from that, I can say data types will decide what type of bucket that is, whether it is the size, the type, or even like what can the bucket contain in it. So data types are like that, in my opinion. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for that explanation. I see Amos, you raised your hand. Maybe you can tell us, how do you understand what data types are?
Hello, Bill. You can hear me?
Yes, you are audible.
Actually, I've not raised my hand to comment or to answer the question. It's because we have just joined this session for the first time. And my assumption was that whatever was taught in the morning session is what will be taught in the afternoon session. but I've just heard you mention that whatever was done, like installation of the necessary softwares, I think you are not going to repeat that. You're just continuing. Will this be the norm for the sessions in the next week, or because I was expecting that the morning and the afternoon session, whatever was taught then is what will be taught now, because it's like I've just floated. I was expecting that we are going back to what you taught in the morning. Or there's something I've missed. Maybe you can you can help me there.
Okay. So I think I had also clarified this in the WhatsApp group, right? That these sessions will be progressive. Now you see we are currently on week 1, and before the end of today, we need to have completed the content of week 1. But if we, like in today's morning session, basically we were dealing with the installation of the Dart SDK in our machines. So imagine if we could have, repeating the same thing in this session and in the last session, but you really need not to worry because you didn't miss much. You can just follow the instructions for installations real quick. It might take you at most 10 minutes to do this, and you can join us. You can also revisit the recording if maybe you think we are way ahead, so that you can just catch up with us. But basically, we just did the installation, so just follow the procedures that have been listed here. And then we had tackled variables in that, okay, which is again something you can just teach yourself. You can just, or even follow up through the recording. It's not that difficult. Okay, but now everybody should know.
What about now from next week? Does that mean that the way you've said it's progressive, does that mean that I have to attend all the sessions, the 10 a.m. session, the 2 a.m. sessions, for me not to miss anything?
I'd
the second part.
advise for you to attend all the sessions because we literally have only one class in an entire week. So you can just have your Tuesday dedicated for this class. It's okay. But if maybe your schedules are tight and you're held up somewhere, you can choose to attend one class, and the rest of the sessions you can catch up through the recording, which will always be available in your LMS.
Okay, that's clear. Thanks.
You're welcome. Frederick, I believe you want to tell us what data types is so that we can quickly run into the next thing.
Oh, mine is a different issue.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to enroll to this class data with Flutter,
Mm-hmm.
but when I was going through the different specialization, I enrolled to full stack website instead of data instead of this mobile application.
Yes.
So when I tried to enroll again,
Mm-hmm.
as in there's a pop-up which said request failed since I've enrolled to another specialization module.
Okay, yeah.
So
Okay.
I'm unable to access those class materials.
Okay. Stanley, please allow me to take that.
Sure.
Okay, so in case I know most of you have enrolled into different modules by mistake or by accident, and you want to revert back. So still looking into that because you understand it's actually so many of you, not really one person. So there's a form that's revolving. Let me share the form in the WhatsApp group.
Okay, so Frederick, you just key in the issue through the form, and our team will look into realigning you well with the intended module that you wanted to specialize with.
Okay, thank you.
The last one, then we proceed. Yes, Okop, Godwin. Godwin, I can see your hand is up.
Hello?
Yes, yes.
Am I audible?
Yes, you're ready.
Okay, what I understand about data types,
Mm-hmm.
a data type is just a kind of value
Mm-hmm.
you can store in a variable or use in a program.
Nice, nice. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the explanation. Yeah, so let's just dive in and get a better understanding of what exactly it is and how instrumental it is when it comes to development, right? So a data type is an attribute of data which tells the compiler or interpreter how the programmer intends to use the data, okay? So it basically defines what kind of data a variable can hold and what operations can be performed on that data, basically. So think of it like a label or a category that tells the computer that, hey, this is a number, and hey, this is a text, or this is a true or maybe false information. Like it's just a label, okay? And we might all think or wonder, why is it important? It's because um, first of all, memory management has to be considered. So the computer needs to know how much space to allocate, okay? And also it prevents errors by ensuring that you don't use data in the wrong way. For example, adding a word to a number. If you guys were kid for those who had attended the morning session, when Mr. Allen was typing the date of birth, he did not specify the value to be a string. And when you looked at the output that was given, instead of outputting the date, it had output a numerical value. So it was literally dividing. Now you see, for type safety purposes, declaring and elaborating data types is very, very important, all right? So quickly, we'll just dive in to understand what kind of data types do we have. So the first one you can see, we have the numbers, and this basically elaborates the arithmetic coding magic. So the numbers in that come in two main forms: int for integer, which is for whole numbers, and double for decimal numbers. Okay, yeah, so we can just have this code into our IDE. I'll just open my IDE. Let's see. Mhm. Okay, just a second. Okay. Yeah, so everyone can just open the IDE if you haven't yet. Okay, this is not the right one. Don't worry about this. These are just my internal projects. Okay. View. All right, now we are here. Let me just expand it. So that you can see. Okay. So I'll just create a file and name it numbers.dat. Don't forget to include the extension.
Can you zoom in a little bit? Oh,
Oh,
yes.
okay. Just a second. All right. I think it should be good now, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, we have discussed two types. We've said that numbers has two forms, right? Of data types, integers and double. So we want to experiment with all of them and see how their output is, okay? So we'll just begin with the okay. We'll have it open. This is where the big execution begins. Okay, without that one, you cannot operate. It's like a door to your entire house, right? So here, now let's express the data types, and we have integer. So we can say integer code har, for example, equals to 12. Okay, come below here and I'll say integer code he equals to 45, right? And etc. But I just want to use these two. Okay. So I'll come down here. Or rather, before I give my example, you can just decide to copy this and then I'll explain. So that we are all in line, because I might lose some people here. I'll remove this because it's unnecessary. And yeah. So as you can see here, we have integer data type, okay? We have a variable, lines of code written, and we have assigned a value 42 to this variable, okay? So as I was explaining initially, I told you that it defines the kind of data variable it can hold. So this integer data type, it holds this variable that has been assigned this value, okay? And you can see that for integers, it is for whole numbers. When you come to the other form of a number data type, which is double, we have assigned coffee cups as the variable, and we have assigned 9.5 to this variable coffee cups, okay? Now, when we come here and we are expressing, let me minimize this, if it's possible. Oh no, okay. So here we are now expressing whatever output we want to obtain, okay? And we are saying that for total productivity, we want the output to be of integer form, and expressing it, we are saying that total productivity should add, I hate these things popping up, lines of code written plus bugs fixed. So it is going to add the values that have been assigned to the lines of code written variable and the value that has been assigned to bugs fixed variable, okay? And the output, the products of these two variables are going to be output as one. This variable here, total productivity, okay? So the value of lines of code written, which is this one, 42, okay? We are going to add it as well with the variable bugs fixed. And as you can see, bugs fixed here has been assigned the value 10. So anytime when I call total productivity, it will output for me the values that were assigned to lines of code written plus bugs of fixed code. The same thing happens to here, line 11, double. I'm expressing it that the kind of output which will be code time, I have to specify and express what does code time does, or rather do, okay? So I'm assigning it coding hours. And as you can see, coding hours, we had assigned it a value of 9.5, okay? And then coffee cups was assigned a value of 3.14. So I want you to note something, that we are not assigning the numerical value inside here. We are assigning the variable, and the variable has been assigned a value, okay? So as we are coming to print the output here, okay, I will say that total productivity will call, now this sign here, we call it ampersand, okay? So ampersand, basically it likes assigns, for example, a numerical value inside a string, okay? So here it will display the total of the output that has been here, that we have expressed here, okay? So total productivity will be the value, total productivity, tasks completed. So I want you, as we will be outputting the result, I want you to take note of what will be output in this position here, the same thing that will be output in this position here, okay? All right, so you guys decided to use, or rather preferred to use the run button, so I'll just use it as well. But I like using the long process of the terminal. Let me push this one up. Okay, so you can see the output. Total productivity, 52 tasks have been completed, right? Encoding time, 29.83000 hours fueled by coffee. So here, in as much as I have shown you how to use the different data types, I also wanted you to take note of whatever operation was going on here. I'm telling you that the functionality of this sign, basically, it is used inside this string, okay? This symbol is used inside a string because to symbolize something like string interpolation. It's like a shortcut to insert a value of a variable or an expression directly into a string, okay? So for example, let me just make you understand. For example, if I say that int sum equals to A plus B, right? Something like that. And on top here, I had said that int A equals to 8 and int B equals to what? Maybe 10. Okay, something like that. So anytime I'll be calling this sum, it won't give me A and B. It will display for me the values of A, which is 8, and the values of B, which is 10. So basically, that is what is going on here. Okay. All right. I think I can open a space for questions before we move to the next one.
Hi, Stanley.
No. Yes. You have a question?
Oh, yes. Stanley, so like in the previous 8 weeks that we're doing the introductory, right, to coding, I remember, like, for instance, where it says print, would put the F before the double quotation marks, right? And now I see we're using, is it M-Pesa? You said it's M-Pesa, right? And I wanted to say, what if here, instead of using M-Pesa, I put like the F prior to the inverted commas? What would happen? Because now I'm trying to figure out what's the differentiation, because sometimes I feel like the coding is a bit too complex.
I'll ask you another question. Where were you using printf? Because based on my understanding, we have different ways. Okay, different programming languages have different ways of outputting results. For example, if you see how C++ and C output the results, we use the printf functionality. But Python, languages like Python, and now you see like that, we only use print. So maybe,
Okay.
yeah, you just have to have an understanding of the kind of language you are using. Right now, we are exploring that. So
Okay.
this is its syntax. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Hi.
Yes. Hello, Said.
Yeah, I was asking about. I did some research. I saw there's an way that you can use variable and dynamic. Can you touch on that, please? Because actually, I understand. Because actually, as the way we're studying that, I understand that var in that is almost this like let value in JavaScript. But here I've seen something like other than var. I've seen dynamic. Can you touch on dynamic at least? I understand something in it.
Okay. All right. So sometimes you normally have the dynamic variables with var. So that's when if you don't explicitly declare a type, so that infers it from the value. Okay. For example, let me just say, and I think Sir Alan also talked about, let me use a new line somewhere down here. Okay. So for example, if we don't explicitly declare a type, so that infers it from the value. Okay. For example, if I say var name equals to, let me just use my name, Stanley. Okay. And then I come down here and say again that var age, okay, equals to, and just use this autocomplete 34. Normally, it will like tend to tell itself that age, you see this variable age has been assigned 34, and 34 is an integer kind of thing. So once it has been inferred, the type is automatically fixed. Okay. If I come here, instead of 34, I say 20, there will be an error. There will be an error because it is trying to assume or rather it is expecting that the value that is being assigned here should be an integer and not a string. So that's where basically the var data type normally comes in, but it's advisable just to have a cleaner code that it will also not confuse you. You just explicitly express the kind of data type that you are using. Now, when it comes to the dynamic typing with the dynamic type, so it tells that maybe I don't know the type yet, but I can figure it out during runtime. Okay, so you can just reassign any type of value to the same variable. And let me kind of give an example to this. So if I say dynamic variable, okay, dynamic variable equals to something like what? Hello, let me use that, hello. And then I come here and say print variable. The typo variable. So what do you think the output will be?
Hello.
Yes, Said. What do you think the output will be? It will be hello, right?
Yes.
Yes, it will be hello. Same thing, if I just repeat and say dynamic variable equals to 42, and I come here and say, and just print it, print variable. Okay, I have to comment this. Yeah. So again, what do you think the output will be here?
42.
42. So when you use dynamic sparingly, it kind of tends to bypass the type safety, which is one of that strength. So ideally, I wouldn't advise you to follow this path. I'd just advise you to follow the exact procedures just to make your code clean and easy to understand. Because at the end of the day, when you are writing code, we are not only writing it for ourselves, but you're also writing so that it can be easier for the rest to debug. Okay. So this concept might be a little bit confusing, but you can just do your research and see if maybe you're comfortable with it and you can walk through it. Okay. You can just move to the next one quickly. Also, we have a fun fact here that actually you can mix integers and doubles to power up your math operations. Yeah, so as you can see here, we had the integer data type and we had mixed it with a double, Yeah, so that's a very good functionality there. So let us look at string. String is another data type. And strings are like the magic scrolls of your code. So they store all your text-based data and messages. And with that, you can craft and manipulate text using string, okay? So let us all do this together and see what we have to do. So I'll just copy this and paste it. Let me create another file. String dot, paste it there. Okay, so we have this data type string, and we have assigned it this variable code name. And the variable code name, we have assigned it the value Ada Lovelace, okay? The same as this, we've assigned the value dat to variable favorite language, and we've assigned this icon to this variable favorite emoji. So we want to test a new functionality whereby we are combining strings using the string interpolation using the power of this ampersand symbol and the curly brackets. So print hello, my name is, we have that, and I code in, we have that, and we have that. So we want to combine all this and see what kind of output we have. So I'll just save and click run and then see what it will give us. And yeah, we have the output. Hello, my name is Ada Lavance and I code in that. So as I was, just a second. Okay, so yeah, sorry about that. As I was explaining earlier on the functionality of this symbol, it's basically the string interpolation, whereby we can call values of different variables and just pass, and we can pass their individual values into a single string. So instead of us having like separate lines of outputs, we can just have it embedded into one single line and have a one single output. Okay. Yeah, so here basically we just wanted to see the functionality of the string interpolation. Any question? So just yes.
I'm asking about the concatenation.
Mm-hmm.
Can you use addition new sign?
The addition sign?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, actually that's brilliant.
Apart from the dollar sign.
Yes.
Okay.
But here basically, I can hear an echoes. Okay.
Okay, hello. Oh,
yes, Alan.
Okay, somebody requested for concatenation using the plus sign. It is very possible, provided that you space the words accordingly.
Yes. Very true. You have to space it.
Can we at least do an example, please?
Yeah, we can definitely do that. So the dollar sign here, it is passing the values that has been assigned here. But now let us see with the interpolation thing. So I think I can just use what you expressed. I'll just use this. I won't include another. Let me. Okay, so I'll say print and print and say something like hello. And then I'll have to close this. Okay. Then I'll space it and I'll add. And then what I'll do, I'm going to add this variable that we've expressed here. Okay, so I'll just say code name. Okay, add. Then I'll have a space in between. Okay. Then maybe add favorite language and exit. Yeah. No, I have an error here.
The error is because you're using double quotes and single quotes.
You can don't think that's the reason.
Or maybe the variable name. Yeah, the variable name is different. We have an R coda name.
Oh, it's coda, not code.
It's coda, not code.
Thank you for that. Okay, I will, let me just comment this so that we don't have two outputs. Okay, and then if I save it, then can run it. Let's see. Hello, Ada, love. Okay, it really doesn't make sense. Let me add something like my name is Ada. My name is this. And I love that. We'll save and see if we have a better output that makes sense. Hello, my name is Ada Lovelace, and I. Yeah, so actually we can use the plus functionality for the interpolation. So, but you have to be very keen on how you're using it. First of all, take note of the spacing, because if we don't space again, it won't really work. You'll be experiencing some errors. Okay, but I find this being a little bit hectic. I'd actually just prefer using the $sign. Yeah, but
yeah, sure. Hello.
Yes, Alan.
Yes, sure. I always use the other one with the $signs, because this is a bit technical. If you miss one concatenation sign, you get an error, or maybe the statement is not well formatted.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. All right. So I think everyone now is good with the string. We can now proceed to the next one. I really want you guys to understand, because I'm going to give you a task to do quickly, and I'll just call you randomly and I'll ask you to share your screen and see whatever you are doing. So please, if maybe there is something you've not understood, you can just ask for elaboration. Yeah. Okay, let's go quickly to the next content. So we have booleans. So boolean is another data type which store true or false logic in your code. Okay, it's a key ingredient in decision making. So if your mother in the morning has woken you up 5 a.m. to go to school, and some of you are really naughty, she calls you, or rather wakes you, and then she goes back to sleep, and you are there, you are lying that you're already woken up, and she realizes that there are no movements in the house, and she gives up that crazy hungry voice. James, are you still sleeping? Are you asleep? And you quickly now spring up, and you are helter-skelter in the house. Yeah, so we have the Boolean data type, which ideally it runs through the logic that you've expressed and checks whether a condition is either true or it is false. Okay. Yeah, so this is just a brief explanation of an analogy on how you can understand, or rather how to know how booleans basically work. Okay, so these are yes or no questions. It's a good idea to store them in a boolean. Okay, so we can just all copy this and have it tested and see what it does for us. Create another file, call it boolean. Get that. Let's see. Is it there? Okay, looks like we have a little bit of problem. Let us see. You have to be keen with the syntax because, first of all, that is very case sensitive. And if you don't follow its syntax correctly, it will always shoot you with errors left, right, center. So, now we have bool as the integer. I think we'll just note where the problem is and we'll rectify that. So for the bool data type, we have assigned it a variable is coding fun, and we've given it a value of true. So like if I ask you, do you find coding fun? And you say yes, so like it's true. And do you love debugging? Most people don't love debugging, actually. And debugging is part and parcel of your development career. You should get used to it, but a majority don't like it. So when you ask them, do you love debugging? They of course say no. They automatically want things to always be running for them. Yeah, but we're going to just see and test how these two are going to work for us. So now that I've already expressed them here, I want us to make decisions based on them and see what the kind, or rather what kind of output it gives us. Okay, so if is coding fun, okay, now that the value is true, if the value is true, it will print yes, coding is fun, keep going. Okay, else means it's contradicting the first statement. Okay, so with and okay, we are going to see this ahead how it works, but normally this the decision-making tree is normally if condition, whatever is inside this bracket is a condition, okay? And if a condition is met, or if a condition is true, then you output a certain statement that you'll of course provide. If the condition is false, then the compiler will ignore the first statement or the first output, and it will check the second condition. Okay, so here we are currently providing the condition and a statement for the true value here. Okay, and then later we will come and express the condition for the second variable at the bottom here. But again, there's a different way to do this. I might show you maybe, but as we progress forward. But the logic is, normally it is if whatever is in the bracket, you provide the condition. Okay, and then if the condition is met, then we have a certain output. Okay, you print out a particular statement. If the condition is not met, you again provide another statement which contradicts the first statement on top here. Okay, because if someone asks me, do I have fun during coding, and I say no, so what statement should it be outputting down there? So if I love coding, yes, it will output coding is fun, keep going. If I don't, it will suggest to me try another language or a new language or project for more fun. Okay, coming down to the second condition, if loves debugging. So we are like checking if this condition is met. If it is met, we have this statement output here. If it doesn't, okay, if this condition is not met, we have also a different condition that is being output there. Okay, so you just run and see. Okay, we have problems, but ideally, we have an output there. So coding is fun, yes, keep going and focus on writing bug-free code, okay? Now, this explanation will be a little bit off, but maybe I can just make you understand how maybe it works. But I think this one should be in the control statements, which is the next lesson we are going to handle. So I don't know if I should show you now or show you later. No, I'll show you later. I'll show you later on how to do it. But yeah, basically, this is how it is done. So if a condition is not true, then output a certain statement. If it is false, output a certain statement. Okay. All right, I think we can move to the next one. If Omar, I don't want to lock anyone outside. Any question or elaboration? Okay, I think we are all good. But just make sure you've grasped the fundamentals and do more research to understand how each and every snippet works. So Booleans are perfect for setting up conditions in your code, either true or false. It decides what happens next, okay? So next we move to lists, data type, okay? And that list is similar to an array, which is the ordered collection of the objects. If you want to store multiple values without creating multiple variables, you can use a list, okay? I want us to reread this part. If you want to store multiple values without creating multiple variables, imagine having many lines of variables, yet all of them are of the same data type. Or rather, you want to assign values of same data type, but now you have to express them line by line. It is tedious and it is kind of untidy. So here is where now lists come in handy, okay? So once again, a list in that is an ordered collection of items, okay? And each item, now let's begin here. Each item in a list has an index starting from 0. I think I can just have this in my IDE so that I can explain it better. And I'll create another file, call it lists.dat. Okay, and I paste them there. All right, then squeeze this down. Okay, so we have the list. We have the list data type here, and we have my list variable, okay? And now inside the variable, we have assigned it these values inside here, okay? So each item in this list has an index starting from 0. The very first beginning here, 1, is 0, 1, 2, 3, as you progress. Depends with how many values you have in your list, okay? And you can store multiple values of the same type, or even mixed types if you want, but it's best practice to keep them consistent, okay? I want you to notice something. Initially, as we saw maybe in numbers, let me use this. So we'd say like for integers, we have assigned it that value. Integer, we have that value. If I come down here, double, we have another value, you know, and if maybe perhaps I add a string here, I'll also assign it other values there. But with lists, it's different. I can assign values of different types inside it. So 1, 2, and 4, we all know these are integers, right? And Jackson is a string. And girls also take note that every string value must be encapsulated with speech marks, or rather these marks over here, okay? So you can decide to mix them, or you can decide just to have them separate, because at times it is best practice to just keep them consistent. If you decide in your list you want to have integers alone, or decimals, which are double values, or string values, you can as well do that, okay? But again, you can just decide and mix them. Now, let's move to the bottom here. We have a different functionality down here, that if I call this function, it does something unique to my list, okay? And if I as well call this function, it again does something magical in my list. So I think let us just run, see the output, and then I'll tell you exactly what it does. So I'll just click run, and let's see the output. Okay, let's check initially in our list. We had 1, 2, 4, and Jackson. But our output we have 1, 2, 4, and 67. So what happened? What happened? When I called this function, I told it that in my list, I want you to add 67, okay? And remove Jackson from the list. And exactly that is what happened. So we removed Jackson and we replaced Jackson with 67, okay? Assuming we didn't call this, I'll just comment it and see what will happen. Click save and rerun it again. You can see that inside our list now, Jackson has been maintained, but we have included 67. So this functionality is important because you don't have to manually add a value inside your list, like doing 67. You really don't have to do all this. All you need to do is just to express a certain function, and it will automatically do that for you, right? Yeah, so we have, let me comment this. Sorry.
So actually we say the list are more or less like index, dealing with the index, yeah?
Yeah, but now if we've not specified here, it will just add on the next value, So if I'm adding, let's add another value. If I say my list.
Maybe you do it, you add in the middle.
Now, if
can you use the index?
Yes,
you can use the index.
Yes, I can. We can. And I'll just show that. I'll demonstrate it so that we can all see. So, so as we are adding the values inside our list, it will just continue with how it will continue from the last index from our list, okay? But assuming, for example, we want to add a number maybe in between here, right? And we've said that yes. 1 is at index 0, 2 is at index 1 as we progress. So let's say I want to insert it at index, for example, 1. Okay. Let's see. So let me just add this 40. So my list dot add. Okay. Let me try this at index 1. Okay, I want to assign it the value 40. Okay, let me see. Let me run it. So we have 1, we have 4, we have 67. Okay. So this functionality, it hasn't really done for me what I wanted, because I wanted the 40 to be inside here without necessarily removing 2. But it has done one thing for us, which is it can update an element at a certain particular index. Okay, so like this one, it has updated the value at index 1. Okay, but when you do this, it will replace the value that it is at index 1, replacing 2 with 40. Okay. Let us see. Let us brainstorm, because we are here to learn, right? If I say my list, okay, and I want to insert a number. Insert. Okay, I want to insert 2, maybe. No, this is not right. I have to add a comma there, and okay. Let me see. Let us see. Okay, now I get it. So what we do, if you want to insert a value inside your list, but at a particular index position. So first of all, you will come here, okay, and you will take note of the exact position that you want to place it. So,
Hello.
Yeah.
Okay. I've been trying that. It's insert, then you pass the index plus the value.
Exactly. So the first value here is our index position, which is 2. And then this second value is the value that we want to insert there. Okay. So as we check, when we look at our list, we have 1 at index 0, 2 at index 1, and then 4 at index 2, right? But if let's come now here. Let's now come to our output. We have 1 index 0, 40 index 1, and then 3 at index 2, meaning that at the second index position, we had assigned it the value 3, right? So that happens when you want to insert a certain value inside or in between your whole, in between your lists of values. Okay. So I hope we've understood the different factors. So this is, we have the add. Okay, if you want to add a value inside your list. Okay. And I've said that this add will just add the value next from the last index position. So as we are adding, it will come here beside Jackson. Insert will insert the value that I want to pass in a particular index position in my list. And the remove will just basically remove the value from my list. Okay. Yeah, so I think that is clear. Then once you're done, you now call my list, and it will print the entire output that has from these updates. Okay, we can modify our lists using these values here.
Okay, what if you want to replace a particular number from your list in terms of updating it?
Or if I want to replace it with something else. So that is where now this will come in. I had said that at index 1, I want to have the value 40 passed in it. Right? If you look at our initial list here, at index 1, we had 2. But so when I passed this value, I say that at index 1, I no longer want 2 to be there. I want 40 to be there. Okay, so when I do this, it basically replaces it. And so I'll have my intended value and remove the other. I think we should be good there. Okay. So the dot add, once again, it will add an element at the end of the list. Okay. And then this one will update the value at index 1 or at whatever index position you do want, but you have to specify it inside these square brackets, okay? And then this one, it is when you want to insert a certain index. You want to insert a value at a particular index position. Okay, and then the remove, you just know it removes a value from the list, okay? And also, I think the last thing that we haven't tackled is also about remove. You can decide to remove a certain value from a particular index position. So I'll just say, for example, my list dot remove, okay, at, you see. So I'll say, for example, at index 3. I'm not sure if you have that index, but let's see. We'll save it. No. Let me comment that. Sorry about that. And add a semicolon there. Save it and run. Okay, so you can see that from our list, Jackson has been removed because it was at index position 3. Yeah, so this one, it removes a value by index. Yeah, so you specify the index position that you want to remove a value from your list. Okay. Yeah, so are we at par or any question? Okay, I think we can move to the next one, but once again, you can just do your search as we continue. Yes,
Sorry, sir. Hello.
Yes, hello.
Oh, sir, I just wanted to let you know that the dad
I think we lost you. We can't hear you. Monama, if you're speaking, we can't hear you. Maybe you can check on your mic.
Oh, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, now we can hear you.
Okay. I installed the dad app, or what do you call it? The extension does not work, so I just needed help with that thing.
Oh, when you like create your file and call it .dat, it doesn't.
Yeah, it does not debug.
Okay. Did you install the extension?
Yes, I first did it with the website, ne? And then I installed it in the VS Code. Yeah.
It should work. Why?
Yeah.
Why is it not working? What kind of error are you running? Can you run the program?
The program.
Yes.
Yes, I did, but it says that I should look for it in. I should, before I debug, or when I debug the program, it says to me that I should search for that
SDK.
Yeah.
Maybe did you have it installed in the correct path? Because again, you see, it might be having a struggle to locate where that SDK is located. Maybe you can just check from the environment variables and see whether it is embedded correctly on the system path.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so just retry again. If you will face any issues, just paste it on the chat, and I think Olive will be able to assist you.
Okay, thank you.
You are welcome. Okay, guys, let's continue. We should have this completed soon. So let's look at maps. A map is a dynamic collection that represents a set of values as key pairs. And keys and values in the map can be of any type. Okay, so let's understand this. So each key is normally unique and it maps to exactly one value. I want you to think of it like a dictionary, maybe in Python, or an object for those who have done JavaScript, which I think you are taken through during your web development module. Okay, so let me copy this. Let's all copy this and paste it on our editor. I'll create a new file, call it maps.dat, and paste my code there. Okay, let us run and see what it does. Ages of students, blah, blah, blah. That's how it looks. So let me explain here. So we're creating a map with string keys and integer values, okay? And we are saying that inside the map data type, it will be capturing string values, or rather we will be passing string values and integer values inside it. And in this variable that we have it here, that we've declared it here, we've assigned it values based on the expressions that we've declared inside this arrow brackets, okay? So we have the strings Alice, Bob, sorry about that. Am I audible?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes.
I had lost my connection. Okay. So we have created this map and we've passed values of string and integer data types. Okay. And if you want to access the values inside it, we come and call it here. I think I have a different example. I think I'll just comment all this and walk you through the new one. So say void main is our main function. Okay, and then I'll come. And first of all, I'm going to use a curly bracket before I explicitly use the typed map. Okay, I'll say this time I'm going to use variables, and I'll say variable student. There's supposed to be a space there. Okay, equals to, let me open my curly brackets. No. I don't want that. Then I'll come down here and I'll have another one. So I'll have a, okay. Then I'll come here and now use the map. Okay, and open it. I'll say string. I want to pass string and integer values inside it. Close it. And then want to pass the scores for students inside it equals to. I'll open my curly brackets and I'll say what subjects. So maybe computer science, he got a 95. Okay, we say mathematics has an 88, and that with Flutter, this person should have passed in that with Flutter, right? And to close it there, then I'll come down here and I'll pass, I want to pass an empty map inside it again. So I'll say map, I'll open, say string, okay, and again integer values, and then I'll say capitals, and I'll open the bracket, then I'll close it, okay. Then now I want to print it, right? So I'll come down here, I'll say print. What do I want to print? I want to print the student's value. Okay. So student, and then this time I think I should just have one name. So I'll pass in the name inside it. I think it should be a string. And then close it, yeah. Then again, have a print. I want to print out the scores. And yeah, I'll just pass the score for one subject. And then I'll go and do the other one. No. That's in mathematics. Okay. Now let me explain whatever is going on so that you guys are not surprised. So when you look here, so what I was trying to do, I was trying to infer the types automatically. Okay. Why automatically? Because I've used the var data type, and you see inside it, I've passed strings and an integer, and I've passed a Boolean value there. Okay. So since the keys are strings, okay, you might wonder, what are the keys? The keys are name, the keys are age, and the keys are, the other key is enrolled. All right. So let's take note of that. Those are the keys that we are talking about. And I have passed the values inside them, which are mixed. Integers, an integer, I've passed a string, and I've passed a Boolean value. And now the inferred type, which is when I come down here, map, string, and objects. So this basically means that, okay, in this example of mine, I think I should just have another one because I have a Boolean here. So, oh, no. I can't add another Boolean here because the values that are inside this map, the values that are mapped inside the map data type they contain the string values and the integer values, okay? So that's why I had this specification. Otherwise, if I had other values maybe of Boolean, type, I would have just add it here inside the curly bracket. So whatever is going on between line 10 and line 13, I am forcing the program to only allow keys which are of string values that as I have explained here, and values which are of integers. So I don't know if I'm making sense, but let me just repeat it again. I am forcing the program, okay? We are now here. We are now tackling this block of code to pass string values only, which are the keys. These are the keys inside the map, and to pass values, which are all of them, which are of integer data types, because 95, 88, and 92 are whole numbers, which are integers, right? Yeah, so if someone comes here and tries to pass, instead of 92, he passes something like a string, it will bring an error. Okay, because I have not allowed string to be output as a value. Okay, so this is type safe, and so your map can only ever hold numbers as values. All right. Now let's come to the bottom here. Again, this one, it creates an empty map with keys. So it creates, I was creating, just comment it. It's an empty map actually, but it creates empty map with key values, with keys, which again, my keys are of string values, and the value is just skip. I know it's a little bit confusing, but I'll just repeat later on so that you may understand. My values are of them all integer type. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Should it be integers? Really? No, it should be string. So here, what I was trying to elaborate is I can also add items later. So items like maybe other subjects with their individual values there. Okay. So I don't know how better I can explain this, but I believe we can have a catch up later so that I explain whatever is going on here, because I see also time is running. But we can always revisit. We'll revisit the map data type, and I'll break it down to you exactly to show you how it works. Okay. Because for the map, it is very strict. It is very, very strict. Okay, it's strictly typed and it's safer, and for the values, it has to be integers once you define them at the top here. Okay. Yeah, and when I say capitals down here, yeah, I'm trying to imply that it should start empty, and it should always get ready to be filled with other string pairs. Okay. Yeah, so I think just put a pin on this or on the maps. We will definitely come back to revisit it, and I can explain it better. So don't worry if you haven't understood anything. We will get back here. Okay. All right. So don't be scared. Some of these things are a little bit hectic, but eventually you'll just come and understand them. Okay. So let's go to ruins. I think this is the last part. Then we go to arithmetic operations. So a ruin can be defined as an integer used to represent a Unicode point. Okay. As a data string, as a dat string is a simple sequence of UTF 16 code units, 32-bit Unicode values in a string are represented using special syntax. Okay, every symbol, letter, or emoji you use in that has a unique Unicode code point. For example, the Unicode for a smiley face, this icon has been assigned this value, and the Unicode for the heart icon is this value. Maybe the Unicode for a laughing emoji has its own value. Again, on this section, don't be scared that, oh my God, how am I going to understand all this, Yeah, so don't be scared. But again, I think I'll revisit well on maps and ruins so that you maybe can just understand how they work. And then now you personally can go and do your own research. But just a brief explanation about ruins. By default, a dat string is stored as a sequence of UTF. Okay. You may wonder what UTF is. UTF are like, how do I say it so that you can understand? Unicode, yeah, it means Unicode transformation format. So it's like a character encoding standard for representing all the characters in the Unicode standard. Okay, and sometimes they do vary. We have UTF, which are 16 code of 16 code units. We have those which are 32 and etc. We also have ones which are of 8, so UTF 8, and mostly that one is the most dominant and most common form of character encoding that is normally used on the internet, and is backward compatible with ASCII. For those who did maybe computer in high school may know what I mean. But again, don't be scared. I will have this too well elaborated. We'll have an agreement maybe in a week, and I can do that for you. Okay. So a code unit is just a 16-bit number, normally 0 to around 65,000, thereabout. And for most characters, like A, like 1, like, do you know emojis are characters as well? Yeah, so if you don't know it today. Yeah, so they are characters. And one code unit normally represents one character or equals to one character. Okay. So, for example, let me show you. Let me show you. For instance, that. Okay. So if let me just write, open it. Then that. Now we want to know, for example, let's look at a character A. Character A. We want to know in what unit can the character A fit into. Okay, so I'm going to say variable letter equals to A. Okay, we have this capital. Yes. And then let's see. So I'm going to print letter dot. I want to know the code unit that it can be able to fit itself into. Okay, so here, let me close it, and then I'm going to run it, save it, and then run it so that you can see. Let's see the output. So we have 65, which means that the character A fits into one unit. Now, at times, they normally vary. That's why I'm telling you, you really don't have to master all of them, but just have this basic understanding to know maybe each character can accommodate, like, what size unit can it be able to accommodate, basically. Okay. Yeah, and some characters may not fit in 16 bits, for example, because the Unicode has over like 1.1 million characters, and this includes emojis, ancient scripts, and even symbols. But the UTF of 16 units only cover a range of 0 to 65,000, as I have told you, okay? And it may also just split it into 2 units, and normally we call that a surrogate pair. Don't be surprised of the the bombastic and some new words that you've never heard before. Once again, I will just elaborate this more if we organize a catch-up session later, but just understand that, okay? Again, I'll just do another example so that you maybe understand what I'm trying to mean. If I want to know the code units for a certain emoji, okay? For example, let's do this one, the smiling emoji, okay? I'll come down here and I'll print, let's say emoji dot. We've said we want to know the code units, right? So code units, then I'll close it there. Let me comment this so that we only have one output. Yeah. I'll save it and then run. Let's see. So the result is showing us that this emoji has 2 code units. Okay. We saw A had displayed 65, right? And 65 was just 1 code unit.
Here's what I've found.
Sorry, that is Siri is passing around. Yeah, so if you want to know what kind of character accommodates a certain unit codes, you can just know it through passing this argument, or rather just calling it by this, and you'll be able to know basically. But you don't have to master everything in your head for you to know this thing. So even though we see it, you can see it as one emoji, that string stores it in as multiple 16-bit chunks. Okay, I will explain that one later on. So I don't want to overdwell on the ruins. I will definitely revisit, but we can just run this code so that we see what is being displayed for us. So we'll comment everything here. Then paste it down here. Save it and run. Custom crowns. Okay. Beautiful. So ruins are used to represent Unicode points in that. And in this case, we are using this unit and this unit and that unit. Remember, we are using all these codes to output this for us. Now, your IDE might not display the exact emojis on your terminal, but ideally, we are using these unit code points to display these kind of emojis, okay? Yeah. And string.from codes this one here. It decodes the ruin spell, which is the unit code values, into a readable string, turning the Unicode numbers into their corresponding symbols. And the print statement down here shows our magic action, printing out a heart, smiley face, and a rocket. Basically, these Unicode points that we had expressed here were to display these emojis down there, okay? Once again, I will repeat this when we have a catch-up so that you can have a better understanding of it. Now, quickly, do you know that you can combine all the arithmetic operation into one program like a calculator and can be able to do everything for you. If you didn't know, now you know. So arithmetic operators are the most common types of operators. They perform operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Okay, so I'll just quickly copy this code and paste it. I'll create a new file, call it arithmetics, put that, and paste it there. Okay, let's save and run. Someone is drawing my screen. Yeah, so we can see all the arithmetic operations being compiled and output on our debug console. So at the very top, we declare integer and data variables. Okay, we declare everything. We declare the data type that we are using. We also assign a variable to it and make sure that we have given it a value to it. Okay, so each time I call A, it won't give me A, it will give me 10 because A represents 10, or rather 10 is being represented by A, okay? Then when we come here, performing arithmetic operation, we are expressing the formulas of every operation that we want to be, or rather we want it to be carried out, okay? So I'll come here and define, I want an addition to happen, but what is addition? Okay, what is addition? So I'll say that addition is when I take the variable A and add it to variable B. Now that is addition. And the good thing is that with that programming and other maybe programming languages, is that these numerical or rather arithmetic symbols are being identified. So anytime you have a plus, a minus, an asterisk, it automatically knows it's an arithmetic operation being carried on. You again come here down and you want subtraction to be carried, but you have to express what subtraction is, and you come and say subtraction is the variable A minus variable B, and etc. as you move down. Now, some of you might be asking, why are we using double during division? Why can't we use, for example, an integer? It's because sometimes when we are dividing values that are not of the same, let me say, we have even numbers, we have odd numbers. So if they're not the same, basically, it normally outputs a digit or rather a value in decimal form. And any number in decimal form is a double, or rather is of double data type. So we have to specify that this division of ours, we will probably be expecting a decimal value as our output, so which is of double data type. Okay, we come here and say
can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
Okay, why sometimes if the answer is in a whole, meaning that it might not be in double, is it not better if we use variable or in the space of double?
Well, yeah, you can as well use that. If in situations whereby you're not sure of whatever you want to output, or rather the outcome of what will be compiled, you can decide to use that. But to be just on a safer side, you see, even when you use double and the result is a whole number, for example, if we say 4 divided by 2, we know that the answer will definitely be 2, right? There is no remainder, there is no decimal, etc., etc. But when you use double in such a situation, it is safer because instead of 2, it will still give you 2.0. But you can as well just decide to use the var instead. Okay. So we have this double, and we have we actually have two variables here. We have division and we have integer division. So the first division will always expect it to give us an output of having a decimal, right? And then we have this one, integer division, meaning any number which will pass here is of probably maybe an even number or a number that returns a value with no remainder. Okay? Yeah. So, and then when it comes to modulus, modulus is basically you want to know if I divide 10 by 3, what's the remainder? So if you want to know the exact remainder of a program, you can use what? The modulus, okay? Yeah. And then as we move down, we have double addition. So here we have different values, which you have to explicitly express them at the top, which are here. We have double X and Y assigned decimal number values, okay? And we have expressed their formula down here. Okay, so if I want to add the double, rather, if I want to add values which are of double data types, they will pass through here. This is their functionality. Okay, and how I want my output, rather my program to be output at the console, I can come and express it here. Now here is where we're coming to express. And we are saying that addition, Obina, you have a question? Obina, you have a question? Your mic is actually open. Okay. So so here we are saying that we want you to print the addition, right? But inside the addition, I want you to call the values that we had assigned to these variables. So the variable, the value that I had assigned to A will be 10, and the value that I had assigned to B was 3. So the output, I want to take note, this output here, addition, you might wonder, how the hell am I going to get a numerical value here? And I told you, this, the dollar sign here is like an interpolation, like we are trying to pass a value that was assigned to this variable. Okay, so each time I say like this dollar sign and addition, we come here to addition and we check what was addition. Addition was A plus B, so it will output the result because A plus B was the addition, so it will output the result of addition, right? And exactly as we move down, it's the same thing. Yeah, so you can just read down the code and be able to understand. It's the same functionality, the same process, the same procedure as we move down. And here are the results. Okay. Yeah. So even personally, you can just decide to design a personal, for example, calculator that can perform for you the arithmetic operations. Yeah. So at your own time, just try to practice it and see what you can come up with. Okay. Yep. So I think we are done with lesson 2 on data types. And now we can move to lesson 3, control flows. Let's see. So in that, just like in life, you need to make decisions, right? And control flow allows you to decide which direction your code should take. Imagine being the driver of your own code. You are actually the driver of your own program. So whether you want to take a repetition in certain action or jump to specific steps, it's all up to you. But now we want to see how we can make use of the control flows. So our control flow statements are like a set of traffic signals for your code, deciding whether to move forward, if you want to repeat or you want to take a different turn based on the conditions that you would have been providing, right? And by using the control flow, you can direct your program to execute or skip parts of the code, loop over tasks, and even jump around. We are going to see how we can implement this. And we have some categories in control that we use in the control flow logic in the Dart program. So basically, they're divided into 3 categories. We have decision-making statements, which I think we can handle this today and maybe continue with the rest in the evening session. So we have the looping statements as well. So here, we repeat code over and over until a certain condition has been met. And then we have jump statements. So we hop around different parts of the code, hoping to get to a certain goal, okay? And for decision statements, I think I didn't read this. You make choices based on conditions. So this one, a condition has to be met for something to be executed. Okay, so just have that understanding. We can look at the decision-making statement number 1. So we have the if statement. Okay, so this is a simple decision maker runs a block of code. If a condition is true, then it will give a certain output. Okay, yeah. All right, so let's test this. Let's test this. Okay. I'll create a new file. So we have 4 minutes. In the control flow, we have that. So I'll quickly come and say void main. Okay. And then I'm going to explicitly elaborate what I exactly want. I'm going to say that for integers, we're going to do a simple voting system. Okay, or for maybe a reverse license, or maybe you want to enroll students in a school. Okay, and I'll say, for example, int max equals to 100%. Right? Yeah. So, sorry. I really don't want this autocompletes, but it's okay. So if condition, I told you if we pass a condition inside it. So if the marks are equal to 100, then what do we do? I'm going to say print, we need to enroll this person. Accepted. Let me say something like that. We have accepted this person inside our program. I don't know why it's giving me this. Oh, it's supposed to be equals. Okay. We are going to look at the logical symbols with the greater than, the less than, the greater or equal to, and the equal to thing. Yeah. So here, if you are saying equal to, it has to be 2 equal signs, not 1. Okay. Yeah. So if a student has 100 marks, then we are going to accept that student in our school. But what if the student hasn't? So I'm going to say else. Oh, I'm really sorry, but you have to look for another school. We can't accept you here. Go back, try again, read hard, go through your code. Yeah, and we will accept you then. So I'll save and run. Let's see. Student has been accepted. It's because the value that we had passed here was 100. So I'm going to make an alteration and see what it happens. If a student got, for example, 10%, this was so poor, he really needs to pull up his socks. Let's see what happens. Great, we are definitely not going to accept you. Yeah. Yeah, so this is just the if-else statements, okay? Because we have different statements, decision statements that are normally there. So like we have the if-else statement. So basically this one only accommodates one condition, okay? And then we have if, then else, Now this one again, it normally accommodates maybe more than one condition, okay? Because sometimes maybe you normally want to have a consideration. Maybe a student did get 100%, maybe the student got 80%. Well, this is a distinction, and we wouldn't, leave out a student who has this potential. So we can incorporate an additional condition that will be able to accommodate this take, okay? Yeah. So I see our time is up, but let's let me clear here, and then we can call it an afternoon. So if Miriam's age is above 18, we tell her she can vote. Otherwise, we tell her she cannot vote, unfortunately. So basically, that is what we're just doing here. That if the student did not get 100%, then we cannot accept it. Okay? Yeah. So the program checks the condition first, looks if the condition has been met. And how does it know it has met the condition? It checks on what you've expressed up here. Okay? Yeah. So if it looks into the condition that you've provided, if it meets the condition, it will output the first statement. If it doesn't, it will output the other. Okay? But at times, as I was telling you, you may have more than two choices to check. So here is where we use the else if to evaluate multiple conditions. The student might not get 100%, but has a 90, has a 70, has an 80. We may have a consideration for them. So how do we go about this? How do we go about this? Let's go back to our program. Okay. Let's say this student has 70%, right? And our first condition is, let me not use now accepted. Let me use remarks. So I'll say if a student has 100, this is excellent, brilliant, perfect, kudos, okay? Now, but unfortunately, they haven't gotten this 100%, so he has a 70. I will say, what if he has, I'll say else if he has, if the marks are, for example, greater or equal to, what number can I give? 69. Let me say 69, okay? I'll have an exemption for him. I will come and say, print, not accepted. I'll just take away this and say, maybe, nice try. Yeah, that was a nice try, actually. But now we have the ones who just poorly performed. I will say I'll have something very nice for them. And I'll say else. That should be a curly bracket. And I'll print. Better luck next time, maybe. Yeah, so I'll just save this and run. Hello. Just a second. Sorry about that, guys. I'll just wrap it up quickly. Errors. Okay, let's debug. So something unnecessary there. We come down here, we check where's the problem. We have to remove this. Okay, good. Save, and let's rerun it again. This time, let me use my terminal. Great, so I'll say that. What is the name of our thing? It's if dot that. Nice try. Nice try. It's because our program looked at our conditions that we had provided, and look closely here. When our student had 70%, but unfortunately, he wasn't able to get an aggregate of 100, right? So our program will start with this condition. And when it knows that it hasn't, this condition hasn't been met, sorry. it will ignore the first condition and move to the next. Checks if the second condition will have a match. Okay. And when it looks at it, 70 ideally is greater than 69. So it will output the statement that we've provided just adjacent next to it. If, for example, our student had 40 here, let's see what the compiler will do for us. I'll click run. Let's see what it will do. It should be in the debug console. So better luck next time. It's because our compiler, it looked through the first condition, it wasn't met. Checked through the second condition, it wasn't met. So it had no option. This one is like when no options, when no condition has been met here, it outputs the default that you have provided at the bottom. Okay. Yeah. I see a question. Gusha has a question. You've raised your hand. You can just unmute.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, you are audible.
Hi. Can I please ask that after this session, you just go through the process of installing DAT, because I am lost, because every time I'm trying to run a code, it just doesn't work and I don't know what's wrong with it.
Okay, no problem. I think then after this, because I think this is the last thing I'm doing, as we end the session, those who have problems with having their DAT installed, you can just remain. We can go through it, and yeah.
All right, thank you.
All right. Yeah. So, guys, I hope you understood the two fundamentals and the differences between if, else, and else if. Okay, the two statements are different. The if else only accommodates one condition, but the if else if, okay, accommodates more than one condition, multiple conditions. Okay. I think we can end it there and we will finish up the rest in the last one. Let's see the content. It's a few. Great. So I think you can just stop it from here. Go get yourself a cup of coffee, something to eat, freshen up, and then we will meet in the other session and we will take it from there. Okay.
What time is the other section? West African time, please.
That will be 6 p.m. if I'm not wrong. I'll just check. I think it is 6, but I'll just I'll text you, or rather, Oliver, you can confirm with us.
Yes, I will send the time.
Okay, nice.
Stanley.
Yes.
I think my question is out of the topic, but general question, which is we select our specialization. For example, I choose Dart and Flutter and the specialization option. So I think I am supposed to follow this module only to follow every week.
Yes.
So I'm not going to enroll to other courses like AI, software engineering, or others.
Yeah. You only can enroll into one module.
One module.
Yes, just one. If you enrolled in that with Flutter, you won't be able to enroll in any other.
So the others, I'm not obligated to touch even on them LMS.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello, Stan. Can you hear me?
Yes, Franklin.
Okay, my question is about the final project. So basically, I have a friend. My friend basically is taking, is it Manstack and full stack development, and I am taking, this app development. So we had come up with an idea of an app. So that app, we have decided basically my friend is going to make the web version of the app, and I am going to make the mobile version of the app. So I was asking during the submission of the final project, is it gonna bring some issues, or what should we do?
Okay. So frankly, the good thing with Flutter, it's like it offers across platform code space. Okay. So with mobile development, but we are going to handle Flutter later on. You can be able to deploy your application in a web space, or have it in Android or iOS. Okay, so if you want to have your application have a web-based version, you can really just do it with Flutter. Yeah, so you don't really have to have someone else, with how do you call it? Doing full stack, Yeah. Your platform, your application can be all across, can be accessed on the website, and also can be accessed as a mobile application. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Hello.
Yes. Hello, Hussein. Musa.
Yeah, afternoon, sir. So my question it is also about our final project. Are we going to use just that and Flutter when designing our website? Is that all right?
Yeah. So as we proceed, as we progress, you will come to you'll be exposed to other frameworks and technologies that you can use. Well, your project should be something at least that you can be able to pitch. So just to make sure that a perfect one, but Flutter will just do amazing things for you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. Yeah.
Hi, sir. Stanley. Hi, sir. I'm very confused now that these questions are raised about the project, the final project, right? Because I started trying to see how can I do this e-commerce. But now if other frameworks are going to be introduced, does that mean I have to change the entire code? Because if I start now, but then certain frameworks are introduced later, then what does that mean? How will it be efficiently modified? Because I feel like now I'm going to ruin the whole thing.
No, you don't have to stress about anything, actually. We are going to explore Flutter. And Flutter, as I've said, it does amazing things for you. You don't really need other frameworks for you to be able to build something amazing and stunning. Okay. So right now, you have to know that first. It's just like when you're building a website, you have to know HTML and CSS. Then now incorporate other frameworks like Node.js and Express, you see. So first of all, you have to have a basic understanding of that programming. And then as we now be transitioning to Flutter, there are some of the components that you basically need to know for you to have a smooth transition when now you'll be handling Flutter. Okay, so don't stress yourself that, you're going to introduce other frameworks that are going to confuse you. Not at all. The frameworks that we're going to introduce will be in line with what we are teaching you right now.
Okay, thank you so much.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Thank you so much for the classes so far. It has really been an awesome one. So I just want to know, for our projects now, some of us that maybe want to build a project that incorporates database and backend, are we going to be taught in this? class how to connect database and backend with Flutter while building projects with.
Yes. You know, there is no application that can run without a database, right? So for now, we are going later on. We're going to use Firebase and Superbase. These are some of the amazing databases or other backend services that provide some of the backend functionalities that are going to handle things like user authentication, things like data capture, you know, for maybe your images, etc., etc. But if you want now to personally upskill and be able to know which other external databases can I be able to incorporate into my program to make it better, now I think you have to do your own assignment. And guys, don't over-rely on what you're providing. You should be knowing by now that every developer, you should always be up to date and always doing research. So if, for example, you've done data types and control flows today and you go and sleep without doing research and having a better understanding, you'll be as good as just someone who did not attend the session. So, but just to mention, we will use Firebase and maybe Superbase to handle our backend services.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right. I think now, guys, you guys should now go and take something to eat. It's been a marathon. As we'll wait for you in the next one.
I was just asking something before we go.
Yes.
About you mentioned something to do with the back end and according to the time limit. Will you manage to do the back end?
Yeah. You will be able, definitely. I had done my project as well, and I used Firebase, and it functioned very well. So yeah, definitely, and we will take you through that as well. But again,
it's okay.
yes, and again, just to be someone who is eager to learn. Don't really wait for us to like take you through everything. There are some things maybe we may not handle, and maybe through your research you get to know. So you see, it's a plus for you, right?
Yeah, it's okay. Thank you.
Okay. I think now I can remain with those who had problems with the installation, while the rest you can feel free to leave. We'll see you in the next one.
Stanley, I promise this is the last one. Can you please suggest like websites where we can just like, I'm so confused, where we can like go through additional content?
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Please.
I can.
Like any suggestion, please.
Okay, I'll outsource some documentation on that. Then I can send them over to you, so you can just learn more and more through such documentation, and also some useful YouTube videos you can also go through to again teach you more. So if it's about
So I gonna give Oliver your email address, or should we?
Okay.
Are you in the WhatsApp?
To get
Oliver,
okay, that's perfect. That's perfect.
Wow.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
I'll send the resources in the WhatsApp group.
Thank you so much.